Now we just wanted to talk about periodic paralysis, the PPA, the Periodic Paralysis Association, and kind of where we've been and a little bit where we're going, and hopefully get a little feedback from you, the audience and the members, in terms of, you know, if this is the right direction or the wrong direction, and if any of you guys have a vision, etc. So Linda, can you, I think if you can come around here, would be great. And so Linda gets to take it from here.
Good morning, everybody. It's wonderful to see you all here again. And thank you for taking such good care of my dog, Keith, because he's come to love all of you. And I want to make sure that he goes home with me today. So I just want to take a few minutes, and I feel a little bit like I'm telling the Christmas story. I'm going to talk about the past, present, and future of the PPA. We have come a long, long way since I started with the Periodic Paralysis Association. I think I started shortly after Jake did, probably about 1999, when I heard about the PPA and actually submitted my blood for DNA testing to Germany, which resulted in eventually finding out my mutation and changed my life significantly. So look, I just wanted to go through a couple of slides here with you, and if Jake will click, let's talk a little bit about where the PPA was and where we've come to. When we first started, there were just a handful of us. I would think that there were probably between 30 and 50 members of the PPA, and we all thought when we first met that we were the only people in the world that had this disease. All the doctors had told us, oh, you're just the only person in the world with this. Well, now the PPA has about 1,800 members, and I get to talk to almost 1,800 of them.
Thank you, Linda.
on a yearly basis. But I really enjoy that because everybody's story helps me relive my story, and it's just as special to me, so keep calling me. Jake also manages the PPA Ask the Expert questions, and I think that over the past year he's answered over 800 questions. He works full-time as a dermatologist with lots of other activities, so for him to take the time to do this on practically a daily basis. I mean, I'll click on Ask the Experts and there'll be nothing there, and I know that Jake has answered every single one. We have enhanced the web infrastructure of the PPA so that really our website now is absolutely astounding. I had somebody tell me this morning that they just think the PPA website and the information that we have there has just grown tremendously, and we have done a good job. I don't want to pat us on the back too much, but we just keep collecting more and more information to add to the website and make it as good as it can be to support every one of you. We love having these conferences. We hope that this will go on into the future. We want to maybe do more webinars and things like that we can do on a more regular basis. We have just recently opened up our PPA discussion forum, which replaced our PPA listserv, and I know that the forum now is very active. It's really moving forward with people participating every day. We have expanded greatly our genetic testing program with Dr. Lehmann-Horn in Germany. We send multiple blood samples every week to Germany for genetic testing. More and more people are finding out their mutation, and I think that will increase drastically because they have gotten new equipment in Germany that's going to look at your blood in a much more thorough way. And many people have asked me, well, is my blood just sitting there? Your blood is constantly being tested. As they find new things, they're retesting you. I have seen the blood in Germany, and it's a whole room full of blood. I've never seen so much blood. But It's all being tested. Some of you may have been contacted and asked for more blood, and that's because they've run out of blood to keep testing. So if you ever get a letter saying they want more blood, please give it to them. We have also published a Hyper PP survey, which was a study based on a survey that we took of our own membership. We've now completed a hypo and a hyper paper, so I know that we have more publications coming down the road, and these are all to help you take them to your doctor and share that information. We've also expanded our experts network to include Dr. Cleland and Dr. Weber, who you've met here today, and they have been invaluable to us, so thank you both very much.
And yeah, let's give a round of applause to them. I just want to mention also, you know, we work in parallel with Periodic Paralysis International and Deb Grant, who spoke to us yesterday, and she's doing complementary things. So we had the survey with Hyper. She also did a survey of her membership on Hypo and Hyper. And she's also put together a really super wonderful resource on her website about the diagnosis and management of the various conditions in a very patient-friendly format and also doctor-friendly format. And we link to her site quite regularly for those things. So I just want to make sure she gets the PPI gets credit also.
In the future, as I said, we hope to expand this idea of doing webinars. We have found that this is not something that's very hard to do, and we would be able to link to some of our medical experts all over the world without them ever leaving their homes, and have them do a webinar for us with participation from all of you. We also hope to start doing some conference calls by geographic region, because we know that you're all over, not only in the United States, but I mean, this is like the United Nations here this year. We want to start doing some smaller meetings so that we can just sit and talk about things that are affecting you and see if there are ways that we can help. We're doing awareness campaigns to neurologists all over the United States and, again, abroad. I know that we're going to be working closely with the doctors in the Ukraine to bring them into our PPA circle, and I encourage other people from other parts of the world to let us know if they have doctors that would like to be brought into the PPA circle. We're realizing, because Jake and I and Shelley and Grace and Josh are all volunteers. We don't get paid anything. We just do this because we love all of you. And it's getting to the point where we're realizing that we may have to get an actual employee. The workload for all of us is tremendous, and we all have other lives to live. Some of us are getting older, like me. And, you know, we really feel that a full-time PPA employee would start getting the work shuffled to the right person more quickly. So that's something that is on the table that we're going to be looking at. We want to get consensus conferences about diagnosis and management so that we're getting all the doctors onto the right page, and you know, we don't have one group of doctors saying one thing and another group saying another, because that's what's making it so hard to get a diagnosis. And then we're going to be continuing, of course, our genetic testing program with the new technology I mentioned. And by all means, we're going to be searching for a cure, because I really, really feel that the young people that are in this audience are going to see a cure. I don't think that that is out of the realm of possibility at all.
Great. So yeah, that is you know, we have two. I was talking with Dr. Cleland last night. There's kind of two different visions that one can have. You can have a kind of smaller vision of let's get information out there and let's get support going. and that's very critical to the current day functioning of our lives. But we also need to take a larger, broader vision of really, how do we cure this thing? And it's, it's like cancer. You say, oh, breast cancer, we have to search for a cure. And it's a very big statement. It's kind of nebulous. And you don't really know where to go. And there's many different paths you can go. And how do you know where to put your backing behind? Is it behind stem cells, or is it behind a small molecule pharmaceutical, or what do you do? And what we need to do is involve our experts a bit more, get a bit more collaboration, identify what makes sense, and then go after it. And so those are the kind of things that I guess, had we a full-time employee to take care of the kind of more mundane day-to-day stuff, we can start looking at the bigger picture a bit more.
What do we need from you? Wow. We need some really genuine help with projects on a weekly basis. We want to involve some of you as project leaders so that some of you will take over some of these projects that are just getting too cumbersome. I mean, just to put on this conference, when you think it takes at least a year to make this conference happen. So I may get a year's kind of vacation from putting on a conference, but then...
It's coming up.
Yeah, this is what I hear from Jake all the time. You've got to start planning. So we really need help with things like that. Not only the conference, but we have some other visions of things that we could see project leaders helping us with. We would like to start involving more people with attendance at our PPA board meetings. If you're working on a project, then we would like to get reports from you at our board meetings. We would especially like you to look for ideas for fundraising in your home areas, because we want to reach all corners of the world and we need your help. We can't run around this country or around the world trying to raise money. And it does take money to keep the PPA running. None of this is cheap to, have the webinar or have these conferences. And Shelley is going to talk to you a little bit more about that. We would like to have possible speaking engagements for PPA leadership to medical facilities and medical universities. I know that Jake and I are willing to do some traveling and really go out and talk to people grassroots and see if we can't change some of the attitudes that people have about periodic paralysis. We'd like to get a PPA newsletter going. That's another job that we'd like to hand over to someone that has a real knack for writing, so that we can keep our members up to date on other people's stories, especially after you've all met one another here at these conferences. We'd like to involve the media, and we have tried to do that, but we've got to start that on a grassroots basis. We aren't going to get to 60 Minutes and 2020 from this conference. We need to start from some of your small hometowns talking about the problems that you face on a daily basis. And I know that I've been talking about the PPA just because I've had Keith. And by having this service dog, it's given me an opportunity to go out and speak to groups, all kinds of groups, and I always talk about my involvement with the Periodic Paralysis Association and my involvement with Canine Companions for Independence, but it's become a marriage between the two. So my story is getting told in front of the media. And by all means, be open. People call me and they say, I can't talk about this. I can't talk about it with my friends. Some people can't even talk about it with their families. Talk about it with everybody. If you're standing in a grocery line and somebody is looking at your wheelchair, or you aren't walking right that day and it just looks like they want to ask you, say, is there a question I can answer for you? And go ahead and just be open about it. I have people ask me all the time, especially little kids, because my feet swell, and they will say to me, "You have fat feet." And so take that opportunity, because usually their parents are standing there, and I will tell them, you know, well, that's because I can't get up and walk, and it's because I have a disease called periodic paralysis. And once you start talking about it, you take away this, this feeling that it's something to hide. It really, really isn't. Be open. Talk about yourself.
Thank you, Linda. Yeah, good luck, right? How good are your eyes?
This year, we had a special gift made to the PPA to enable us to do this webinar. And as of this date, I may have to move just a hair closer, just a hair closer, because
Without destroying anything here.
okay, that looks much better. As of this date, we have not publicly acknowledged gifts from individuals. And the PPA plans to change this in the near future because we're going to create a virtual donor wall on our website. And that will be done probably within the next just few months. However, today we wanted to give a special thank you this year to one of our longtime members who could no longer travel to be with us in person, but we know that they're on the webinar right now, and they gave us a very special gift this year. Again, it was to put this webinar on. Many of you know Ann Becker and her husband Mike and their daughter Miriam, and they have been with us for several of our conferences. Ann and Miriam are no longer able to travel. And Ann is a registered nurse and has spent years and years educating the medical field as a neonatology education nurse. And she's been a key to helping people understand the unique problems in that field. And this year, Ann Becker and her family generously donated the funds to allow us to have this first live webinar. Ann, we know that you're listening and reading this slide, and we want you to know that there are people all over the world right now that are reading this slide. The people attending the webinar did not have the ability, or that didn't have the ability or the funds to get here, are actually getting the knowledge that otherwise wouldn't have come to them. So they know that they are no longer alone, and that what the PP strives to achieve with everyone and every person that we come in contact with is that we are here to help. So we want to thank you, Ann, for making our conference live this year and taking it around the globe, and we know that you have started a new future for the PPA. So I think that we should all give Ann Becker a round of applause for doing that. In addition, and certainly not least, all of you who are having your blood drawn today, the people that are here doing the blood draw have been here with us now for 3 years. I think it's been at least 3 years. And they are certainly some of my best friends, Pam and Jim Harkrider, who I have known for years and years, and they recruit a couple of Pam's friends who work at the hospital with her to come and do the blood draw. And Pam, I didn't take the piece of paper with their names on it.
Miss Jessica and Miss Carla.
We have Jessica and we have Carla.
Is it one stick Jessica and two stick Carla, or what?
But we couldn't do this without them. So all of this blood is going to be drawn, and tomorrow it'll be on its way to Germany. I will tell you that it will take at least 3 months for you to hear about this now that they're using this new machinery in Germany, because it's going to be testing for far more mutations. And so don't expect to hear anything about this blood for a while. You're welcome to email me with questions at any time, and I can contact Germany to see where in the process your blood is, but just kind of be patient for about 3 months, okay? So I think now Shelley is going to come up.
Do we have a PowerPoint for you? Oh, you're winging it. Okay, that's cool. We'll wing it. We'll all wing it together. Oh.
I just don't have a cheat sheet like they do.
You're cooler.
Yeah, I'm cooler. I want to also thank Miriam and Ann, because it makes such a difference in donations and what we're able to do with the donations to help other people. So by helping give the webinar to people who couldn't afford it, or help people at the conference, it's nice. So everyone who donates, they're all helping each other. And that's how we roll. But we're probably spending about $20,000 this year on the conference. This will be our most expensive conference so far. And we lose money every year. We do get money from the fees and for the webinar too, and that's great. But we debate every time there's time for a conference on what the fees should be, because you're getting a very good deal. But we want people to come. It's more important to have you here than us to make money on a conference or even cover. So that's always what we go with. And there was a donation. Every donation is important, first of all, but there was one that I really, really enjoyed. It was a surprise for me, and it was from the First United Methodist Church in Wisconsin, and it was for Coins of Love. I didn't know who was responsible. It just got a check for over $500 out of the blue, and they donated coins, all for us. And I found out, luckily, that Lori Halverson, it's her church, and she's the reason. So I did not know that going into this. I had already planned to talk about that donation because it really touched me. And I was just so happy to have a face to put that to. So please thank you for that. And truly every donation is important. It helps us grow. It's what we need to help others. And another situation that was very touching for all of us is when we found out about Sasha through the PPA and the PPI. The outpouring of response from people all over the world. We raised $1,700 through donations specifically for Nadia. And the PPA put in the rest of the money, another $3,300, to bring her here to sponsor her trip. And that's all from your donations. It helps us make choices, and we just felt that that was a very good choice.
Worth every penny.
Worth every penny. So just let me end with, please continue to support us, and we appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Jody came to us before the conference and mentioned this great fundraising opportunity that he's done in the past, and he has to leave very quickly, but he wanted to mention something that we're considering doing, provided that that we can clear it with our accountants and lawyers and stuff. So,
great. My name is Jody Butler. I'm from Pensacola. For about 8 years, we have had different military programs. We collect used cell phones, electronics, spent ink cartridges, and send them to a recycler. And we use the funds to, originally we sent $750,000 worth of calling cards to Iraq. Now we feed homeless veterans. We provided that legal says it's okay. We're going to do the same thing for PPA, except the funds are going to go directly from the recycler to PPA. So whatever the value is, if you donate a cell phone, an ink cartridge, MP3 player, and you never know. I have ink cartridges in my garage that are as tall as my hip, and they're worth $400 refilled. And we had corporations donate them to us. So start saving those things. Everybody's got cell phones in their drawer, their kitchen drawer. They don't know what to do with them. Well, now you do. We'll put up a website. You'll be able to print out a prepaid shipping label and mail it for free. There's no cost to you. There's no cost to PPA. There's no cost to anybody. The recycler pays for the shipping. And then PPA can decide, okay, this is where we want to use the funds. It may be to hire the full-time person that we need, or it may be to fund next year's convention. That's going to be up to the board. But we just wanted to plant the seed so you can start getting these things together and telling other businesses love to put boxes out with flyers on it like that because it makes them look good in the community. So you can get businesses to collect. Every dime that comes in will go directly from the recycler to PPA. So there's no overhead. There is no expense. The website doesn't cost anything. The hosting doesn't cost anything.
Why don't you come up? And Jeff, that's his bag right there. We hope this will work in conjunction with the gift that you got last year and make you even more powerful when you go out on the street.
Linda's referring to the fact that when I'm, if I'm in a dark alley and I have the jacket, the windbreaker that I got last time that says Periodic Paralysis Association, that people would sort of wonder, is am I part of a group of guys who goes beating people up till they're paralyzed?
You'll note the zebra tissue paper there. That's the.
And then Dr. Frank Weber, we want to make you as strong as Mickey is. So here you are. Thank you.
Yes, very good. Do you want it?
I don't. They can open them. They can open them.
Yeah, you got to open them and show everybody.
And then Dr. James Cleland, same for you. Take this back to New Zealand and scare the, I don't know, the hobbits?
I just want to say thank you very much for inviting me, and I've had a great time, learned heaps, and thank you.
Thank you all so much. We wish that we could give everybody something. We hope that you all got one of the carry-along bags that we had when you signed in. If you didn't, please let us know and we'll make sure that you have one to take home. And we do also have a jacket for Dr. Beletsky in the Ukraine, and we're going to be mailing that to him because he just couldn't get here. But, oh, they're going to model them for us. Look at this. Pretty good. And we didn't even know what size they were.